Well, hello, hello. My plan and my idea was that I would, run the last one to see if I get lucky with the flask, but then the one before the before my last set actually got me one. So now I don't have to see if I get lucky. Because I've been running some, Mavens just to see. Maybe I can get the flask. Use charges used and increase duration. Even the roll is really good as well. And there we have it. Yeah. So now that obviously changes the max hit capabilities quite a bit. So yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna, just in case, zero on the last one, because I have it, and then I'm gonna, I'm gonna yap. And then obviously I'm gonna have the POV down in the corner. So yeah, as you can see, there's the 4 vectors, the Animate Guardian, and I was thinking about it, and I was considering maybe doing the Dark Monarch helmet. But then obviously, like, the common consensus is that, oops, I got hit. Common consensus is that you lose just way too much, and it was only playable the last time because we had mercenaries, and they was just basically able to hold the Kingmaker and the garb of the ephemeral, and that's why it was actually usable, possible to do the Dark Monarch. But now I guess you would lose too much or not enough benefit. But my spectres are actually pretty useless, because as you can see, I don't have the Guardian. I mean, don't have the Tiger. As much as I love the Tiger, it's just way too expensive, and it's not even just the cost of it, but also that it is possible to lose it when you, like, change hideout. Okay, maybe not when you change hideout. I should have put it here. But just in general, possible to lose it when you, like, accidentally click on your gems or remove your helmet for some reason. And then I've heard that, if you're in town, then you could possibly, not lose them. But I don't know, because, like, when I had to swap, I went to the town to see. I swapped in the town, I'm pretty sure. I guess I still didn't have it. So either I messed up something, or just not how it is. Either way, I don't want to run any. I don't want to run any inspectors that I'm not willing to just randomly use. Not use, lose. But I guess I could have the turtle. Scurry. I think that's, like, reasonable. But when I got the vectors again, I was just like, turtle went up from 1 div to 5 div. So it's like, I guess I just had some whiplash. Okay, this is the worst puddle placement known to man. Hopefully I won't wipe. That would be embarrassing.
Stop resisting.
But yeah. So I have what? I have the perfect Warlord. And then I have the Pain Artist, because I have, like, some amount of actual, crit in it. Because my Animate Guardian hits them with Temp Chains, and then I have the Despair, and I have the Assassin's Mark, actually. But I'll be honest, I have no idea if it's, like, even worth it, or if it makes sense. But, like, considering the nodes that we have. Okay, I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea about the memory game, so I'm just gonna try to. Okay, never mind. I'll just take the that, I just take it. That's how I usually roll. Memory game is not my strong suit. And I'm in a puddle. Come on.
Take this.
But yeah, like obviously Maven's not gonna be enjoyable
Cascade of pain.
no matter what. Okay, I didn't want to touch it, but then I touched it anyway.
Stand still.
So I guess now I can just run into it no matter what. And then hopefully I take it down before the...
Cascade of pain.
Where are you?
Take this.
Caretaker!
Alright.
To me!
Oh,
The living
nice.
toy must enjoy our contest.
Okay, I'll go ID what we have, and I'm gonna look at the gear and the tree. Okay, so the AoE is 8 divine, and then the fork is 17 divine, and I also got the flask, so that was an insane run. I got 3 of these, and as they will be 6 divine, but obviously that's kind of boring. But you know, if you need currency, then you're probably better off selling it. But let's ID them. Okay, resolute technique. Okay, so it's -6. And Ghost Reaver, that's -12. And Avatar of Fire, that's 40C. So yeah, as you can see, this could have been going for 18 divines together, but instead it's like 40C. So yeah, generally not a good idea to do it this way, and I guess the ailment is 25C. But yeah, I guess nothing really matters because I got the flask. Just all of these. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. So here we are, classic weapon. But here, for example, spending I don't know how many divines. I'm sure there's like a better way than how I did it to guarantee the socketed gems. Although I'm not sure, because it's basically, I guess it wasn't that much, because I guess it was just 3 divines. Because I did, you know, multiple, 3 crafted modifiers, cannot roll attack, and I slammed the +1 gems, and then I don't know if I didn't see any other way, right? Like you just have to remove the crafted modifiers, and then you recraft the up to 3, and then you trigger, and then you put the trigger thingy, and the can be evaded. And then also like 2 divines to get 0.03 attack speed. Is that worth it? Probably not. Whatever, doesn't matter. Gems are here. This is just, I'm pretty sure that there is like so many better rings there. So there's like what, 3 divines, 5 divines. Anyways, I just got that because that's what I need. That's what I wanted. I have the mana on hit here with the Elder, and there's like, you know, other ways. I've even seen someone who had just had the rational doctrine with mana on hit implicit. That was like what, 55 divines. Like I'm sure this is like a more, you know, comfortable and reasonable solution. You know, grab the +1 gems here, and then this way I can actually, I guess, save a point practically, because you have the 128 without getting the cooldown on the 3. So, you know, you can spend that point elsewhere. That kind of stuff, obviously. +2 to here. And then this up here in the 3. Going this way with that attunement. So that's how I have 4. But the thing is, I actually could could do without the spectres, because none of my spectres are actually that super useful. But I should, you know, swap out. So like, I guess in an ideal world, what I would have, if I didn't have to worry about losing my spectres, I would probably have Warlord. I would have the turtle. I would have the tiger, and for the 4th one, I guess I would. I mean, the way that I am right now with like a little bit of crit, because like here's the assassin's mark on hit here, and then, you know, do the despair from here. But there's also, you know, I could just get one here that has curse Curse of Despair on Temp Chains on hit. But yeah, and obviously the second curse is from here, because, you know, I have enough chaos, you know, just to, you know, cover this, and then more chaos damage. I don't even know if that would be like usable for my minions, because it's not my minion, it's my minions that deal the damage, not me. But obviously I'm mainly here for the Profane Bloom and the Void Beacon. So I guess you have your pick over here. I guess this can work. This can work. This doesn't really do anything, obviously. This one can work. I guess I don't know how much matters, because I guess you already apply Wither with Withered Touch over here. So yeah, obviously I have the res over here with melding, you know, just the usual melding of the flesh up there, and then running Purity of Fire, and then getting +2 here and getting +2 here. +2 here was kind of a pain, so I guess if you like really wanna, you probably be I guess using both of these, maybe like two of these, like two grafts with +2 max fire res on both of them. That could work. And I guess this one could also be like two Abyssal Socket, but because obviously you have Mage Blood, so you're either running enough jewels that you can cover it and then you have a bunch of rares, or you are running Adorned. And then it's also kind of interesting that I have 98% freeze avoidance, and I would need either, I'm messing up, I would either need one of these, because this is how I kind of covered, you know, poison and freeze. I have the poison here because I didn't really find anything else that's better as for an ether implicit over here. So then, you know, might as well take advantage of using Adorn, and then I covered with corrupted implicits the poison, and then I thought, hey, might as well try to cover the freeze as well, because I had one singular dexterity node in the path, and then I thought like, hey, I can just, you know, get 10% here and then another 90% from 2 jewels. But like I said, I would either need one that has a 25% there, or I would need a better Adorned over here. And then the 87% Adorned is 23 divines, but if I want like a 88%, and that would be the breakpoint, and it's 28 divines. It was actually even more expensive yesterday when I checked. So yeah, that's that. Like everything is kind of, you know, balanced to a certain extent. Like for example, the strength and int, as far as I understand it, and from what I've seen from other people's POBs and setups, there are too many people who have exactly the same amount of strength and intelligence for things to not work the way I think it works, right? Like here, if strength is your highest attribute, then you have consecrated ground around you, and then 25% chance to create profane ground on critical strike if intelligence is your highest attribute. So I guess if both of them are that, then both should be satisfied. But the thing is, and obviously I have, you know, profane ground on the other one as well. So obviously I have the Lycia over here. You know, profane ground instead of consecrated ground, and malediction, and chaotic might. So yeah, things are pretty neat, right? Because like you get the unholy might from here. So like this time you don't have to run the. Maybe I don't even know if how old the gloves is. But anyways, I looked around and everyone's, I guess, pretty much doing it this way. So for Forbidden Flesh and Forbidden Flame, you have the Mistress of Sacrifice, and then with that, if I have this up, and okay, it's kind of awkward to show it, right? Because of how, okay, he has the 70 and the 70, and that comes out to 90 or 91 with Lucky Block with the Swellen. So yeah, that's nice. And yeah, that's pretty much what we have here. I don't even know if this is really all that worth, the Thread of Hope. But like Thread of Hope, the cute thing that you can do, right, with Thread of Hope is that you can have like some sort of, relatively unusual positions for these. Like for example, I grabbed this because I want to cover. I looked for one that has two of these with eyes open somewhere over here, and then later I obviously found other ways to cover the Chaos Res. So now obviously I have the 75% even without, this flask being up. So yeah. What was there something that I was thinking about getting but couldn't in the end? I think it was only the flask that I was thinking about, but yeah. Here I looked for what is a 10, percent increased effect and life and the chaos res, and then that's how I'm, covering all that. But I guess I still need that one node over here. But obviously you could go for something much better, or look for something that has like, one of this, and then having two slumlord over here. Or you could also do like, say, I don't need this, and you just look for something that has, I guess, as many slumlords as you can fit into like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nodes. And like 1 to 2 of them, surely some of them can be acquired for relatively cheap. So that's like a damage option. I'm pretty sure most of the time you would like be able to get away with, right? Like you don't even necessarily need this one, because as you can see, I'm like 79, but then you have the chaos resistance against damage over time from Pantheon, so that would still cover you if you lose that node. And then you also have the flask here, so if this flask is up, then you're also getting capped chaos res. But I guess then it would be like if the flask is not up and it's like a big hit. I don't know how realistic that is for it to, actually meet that in the game too many times. So yeah. And yeah, this is like intentional that these are, not tattooed over because of the balance over here. But it's kind of awkward that I got, it's like the only one that when I was looking for Chaos and Max Life, the only one that also had the int on it. And because the int is over there, and I only have so many int nodes that I can overwrite, that's why these three are just, hanging out in here. But I guess the only thing that I could really like put over here is that either, block the 1% block, which would be useless because I have, I have that exactly covered with what I have, and I don't really have anywhere where I can drop it. As you can see, with like this one, it's like I'm not gonna drop this, and if to drop all of these, that would be a bit too much. And I guess all my jewel sockets are also kind of taken, because like I can't drop these like even with 100% adorned. It's just not possible, because it would be like what 30 on all of them, and then I would still need the 10%. So that's not happening. Keeping the rational doctrine. I have to keep the hubris, and I guess Thread of Hope could be like droppable. Like let's say I drop the Thread of Hope and then I replace it with a Watcher's Eye. Like, that's an option, right? But then this just opens up too many. Like for example, I can just straight up grab this for the 1 point, so that's pretty nice. And then like I said, I have this option open. And I've also seen it that some people like, I've seen someone like put the Thread of Hope like here, and then I guess they were able to grab, I think it was like this one. No, not this one. This one maybe, and then I think this one. Like this is like exactly should be in the massive range. But then I have less of these to overwrite with tattoos, and then everything just goes it falls apart a bit. So yeah, I thought that, you know, might as well have the strength over here, and I could, you know, have either armor on it, percent armor, but I don't know if it really does that much. So I just thought, hey, covering immunities is pretty nice. So, you know, 100% reduced ignite duration. I hope it works the way I think it works. And then if you have 100%, then you just actually just not have it. Although I don't even know how much ignite would actually do to me with 90% ally res. So yeah, that's a good question. And then I was like, I did the math and I realized, oh, I have like exactly enough intelligence nodes, so I can get 70% reduced extra damage from crit from there, and then, you know, you have this point, and then you can have 100%. And I only just realized today that, like, wait a second, I already had that from the garb of the ephemeral, you know, that you can't get crit. But I guess that's only when the thing is actually near you. You know, like, this is what I'm talking about. Nearby allies, nearby enemies cannot deal critical strikes. So I guess it only matters if there's like something that is outside of the nearby range of my animate guardian, and then it hits me, and then I could be crit. So it's actually not super likely. Or I guess it can work when for some reason my animate guardian falls over, which does happen from time to time, to be honest. So yeah, this one was the rational doctrine. So I was basically like selling and buying these because I was like, okay, I need exactly the same amount of strength and intelligence. And then I remember that, wait a second, I have this and I just have it on 31. So you basically have this needle, so to speak, that you can move with the blessed orb, right? Like I didn't actually have to, you know, buy and sell the doctrines for like, you know, specific exact amount of strength or intelligence to balance out the two. I could have just blessed orbed my thingies here, and that you could basically make up any difference because you have a, you know, from 25 to 35 range. So you could even these out, and then you could, like, you know, tattoo either tattoo over a node or take off a tattoo from here. But it's just it came out to exactly the right amounts. I guess I don't think I'm gonna mess with it anymore because I have exactly enough so I can have 10 of these, and I have that 100%. I have one here that gives the 5% chance to maim, which is basically enough because I'm hitting so many times. And then, like I said, over here I have I guess 14 of these, which brings me to 7. And then here's this one that would ideally get me to be freeze immune. At the moment I have the 2%, so I could, like, you know, sell this and buy a bit better one, and that would basically solve that as well. So yeah, like, obviously like I said, the reasonable decision would have been, I guess, to actually just sell these unidentified, but, you know, that's kind of boring. So yeah, let me check again. I guess someone listed for 7. We're gonna list it for 7 as well, and then this one's all 17. We're just gonna, I guess, price it aggressively and go with 16. You know, that kind of stuff. And yeah, like I said, these are worthless now. This is like what, 35C. Okay. So yeah, and I don't really know if there's anything that I could actually, you know, properly showcase what I have with this, or what it you know, can or cannot do. Oops, I really have to fix that so it doesn't go down to tray. Okay, so like, for example, let's say I find what has a sanctuary map, and it has what? Regen. Let me see if I can get something that is like a better percentage. Okay, currency. Okay, less accuracy, extra chaos damage. For damage targeted by a meteor when they use a flask. Minus 12. Like obviously the vacant fork is gonna sell right away because I'm pricing below other people. Yeah. So currency. I guess the best way would be, and this is probably something that I should have set up earlier. So I hope you'll excuse me. There's discernment, there's potency, that's ambush, hidden compartments. And then we just gotta roll over here and we get the containment thingy. And then I guess that's just what I'm gonna do.
All in order.
And I'm just gonna run that with this here and here. Ambush, 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 and over here ambush as well. I haven't really done much of these, but I guess this is like reasonable. Although I don't even know if it's like an exactly right thing to do to showcase the 90% LE res with minus 12 LE res, but the currency has a too good of a percentage, and I almost forgot to quality it. My bad. And then obviously you could also do the Maven quality. All right, seems good to me.
Spreading chaos into new
And yeah, I just had it around. I had it around, but then I realized it doesn't really do anything. So yeah. And I'm not entirely sure what is like a common procedure here. I always run into this, right? That I have this and then I feel like I have to run to the boss and then run back from the boss and backtrack a lot. But with the Mage Blood and the Quicksilver, obviously it's quite painless to do. So I guess I'm just gonna try to run through everything till I get to the boss. I really need to run the map, because obviously one of the reasons why I would swap over to Occultist, it would be the clear. The satisfying Profane Bloom pops. Okay, like that, for example. So yeah, I just have to give me a little bit of time. Obviously I get lost because that's what always happens, so I should probably... Okay, like for example, that was a nice pop. Frenzy charge. See, like suddenly I have the Act 2 Ape still, and now suddenly that's a bad thing because it doesn't really do anything for me, but then it reduces my defenses, which is unfortunate. Okay, there it is. All right, pop in there.
You will
Okay,
know
I
pain.
blame the...
Inevitable. I will bathe this world in blood.
I blame this. Oh, nearby enemies. I blame a lot of things. Ow. I don't have anything to hit really. Okay, I have the thing over there.
Impressive, but futile. Be gone. You will know pain.
Okay, not the best showcase, to be honest. Not the best way to showcase it. But to be fair, I have minus 12 over here, so now I only have 72. Oh, it's not even minus 12, it's more because of the, because of the increased, modifier effect value thingy. Oh yeah, also one thing I forgot that, to put any kind of delirium orb on it, so supposedly that's also a little bit of an extra thing. And I guess also probably I should run through entirety of the map. to see any altars that I could pop, and then I should open the thingies. But you know, yeah.
Take a chance.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to run something that I basically haven't done the entirety of the league, which would be this. I ran like 2 or 3 maps with the other character just to do something else that's not ultimatum, but then obviously I decided to just go back. And that was the dynamic with the 2 characters, that was this one who was just, you know, trying to haunt the flask with not much success, and then there was, you know, the ultimatum one who's like financing the entire thing. You know, when I was like kind of running out of money, and then I went back and I did a little bit of ultimatum, and I got some divines again, and then I could just go back and forth a little bit. And then obviously on the second weapon, I'm just having some enlightens over there, just chilling. So far there was only that one that actually hit. The others all just basically stayed level 3. So yeah.
We are pleased.
Unlucky. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's like a better process to do these things, but I guess I don't have it.
Take a chance.
Maybe like, you know, run around and then hope that somehow I get currency dupe altar, and then, you know, I run through and then I dupe a bunch of things. I don't know how exactly it's supposed to go.
Legacy of a forgotten empire. Take a chance.
Yeah, to be fair, a fortress has like at least a better path. Here I'm just, you know, getting lost everywhere. If that's something. Aye. But yeah, honestly, for most things, this is like entirely overkill, and it could basically do everything. So like anything that it can do now, it was already able to do before Mage Blood and before Swollen even. So I don't know.
We are pleased.
And these ones are also kind of dodgy. Cause like here I still have to run out of things. Even just basically just with a, okay, that's nice. Even just basically with a minus max res. It just feels like it's like entirely invalidating the entire reason of going to 90. But I guess if I didn't have 90 and I would only have like what, 80, then I would be absolutely obliterated by everything. But still, I don't really enjoy this all that much.
A little sliver of anarchy.
And by this I mean that I can't really just go and do what I usually like to do. Because usually I just get to a point, you know, when you have just a bunch of the same map. I just blast through there. I mean, I guess that's something that you could do, can do. It's just debatable how much value that is. Because basically at the moment I have the ultimatum, which I know is reliable. And then I have this one, but I'm mostly running bosses with this one. And then obviously those are not quite reliable, but at a certain point you will be able to actually get something big. Like for example getting the flask here.
Enemy.
or even just getting the impossible escapes and just selling them unidentified is also a quite reasonable thing to do. So that's also a,
Take a chance.
you know, relatively reliable source, even though it doesn't, you know, doesn't happen every time. Okay, that's nice. By the way, I should probably have the Omen with me if I ever plan to level further up from here. Obviously, that was a huge help overall in leveling the other one to 100 as well. Not even necessarily like when you actually have to use it, but it's nice to be in there with a peace of mind. That if you lose, then you are not losing 10%, you're only losing 2.5. I mean, it's definitely worth whatever it costs. You actually want to level up. So yeah, like if I do the reasonable thing here, I pop up here, and grab the thing, and then I put it in my bag. There we have it. Oh, like obviously from here you should not confirm or deny like the financial viability of, you know, running the ambush maps, because I got the 2 divines and that's also already kind of something.
A little sliver of anarchy.
So, you know, I guess sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. I got a Scarab that had a big sound, but it doesn't necessarily mean all that much, because, you know, sometimes the one that had a big sound is like, what, 50 chaos? Which is obviously something, but not quite to the extent of how loud the filter sound is or was. There's like a bunch of Arcanist boxes all over, which is like a good roll, I suppose. So I guess anytime that I see these, there's like, what, a 2% chance for me to get frozen when I open a box that has 3s on it. Just, you know, pretty good, but probably would be nice to be able to just put 100% there. Okay, this is like, what, it says, huh. Okay, it's kind of confusing. I probably shouldn't trust the Awakened trade with this. Say like 64.
All in
Yeah, it's
order.
like something.
I'll let you know.
And then it's like 50C. Even 60. Alright.
I'll put the word out.
And now I'm getting trolled again. Alright, yeah. Yeah, I don't like where this happens.
What are we?
There's another 7.
Business.
And there we have it. Okay, I wanna do this one then. Because I have 2 of these here. Devouring fragment. And then, you know, maybe I get lucky here as well. Okay, you know what? I'll run these later. Okay, 2 of these. Okay, I'm not gonna, you know, subject everyone to running all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess. Okay, good enough. I guess I'll be able to just, you know, wrap it up with this. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And yeah, as you can see, you know, poison things just sitting here ramping up. Which I guess is like one of the reasons also why I have a bit of a crit in there. Because, you know, that way you can also, I guess, scale the hit damage above the poison cap. Which I certainly hope that I'm above poison cap, but ow. See, like sometimes you still just lose. And whew, did they fix that? Okay, they fixed it. It looks like they fixed it. So what used to happen, which you probably know, is that you would still lose the Omen. Even if it's something that you would, you know, not lose you XP. I don't know if it's like consistently fixed for everyone, for everything.
I need more mana.
I don't know if it's like consistently fixed for everyone, but
Clatter.
yeah. You know how it is. You would lose it, and then you would be sad because you forgot to put it out of the things. Okay, you know what? What if we just keep going? I'm sorry. This is gonna be, yeah, this is gonna be so long again for nothing. But if I manage to hit something good, then it's gonna be fun.
Energize the spheres.
Okay, so like in theory, like running so fast or being able to run so fast is nice. But then what ends up happening to me is I just run too fast and I'm not able to position properly, and I die anyway.
Be gone.
Even when I shouldn't. Ow. I don't know. Sometimes some of these, you know, defensive thingies are kind of weird. Because I still die to stuff, and then the things that I don't die, I wouldn't die even before spending I don't know how many hundreds of divines. So yeah. I guess it depends on what kind of build you're running. See here, for example, my thingy died. Which is, you know, unfortunate and annoying. But so here, there is actually a benefit for me having the crit immunity, even without having this Garb of the Ephemeral. I just can't help but feel that, you know, none of these is actually like, satisfying to do. To show that, oh, it was so worth putting all this money into it. Although I guess most of it is items that are like easily sellable, you know? Like I don't think there's gonna be a point in the league when, you know, Swallowing is not gonna be worth good money. Same with Mage Blood, obviously. Ow. Okay, I'm missing this one.
Be gone.
So, yeah. Same with the Forbidden Flashes, I suppose. So, yeah. Definitely nice resale value. Which makes it not entirely super relevant to say how much it costs or didn't cost. But yeah, it looks like these are pretty worthless. These things that I got from here. It's probably not. It probably wasn't a wonderful investment. But you know, comparatively speaking, this is the one that's like the most chill to do. Okay, I mean Cortex is chill, but it's not really, you know, doesn't count. Doesn't count. Blazing, I don't get it. I don't know, like how much does it take for me to just not instantly die to what's happening in the Blazing arena, you know, the Uber Exarch. I don't know. To be fair, you know, minion build, so it's okay. Then I got this. Yeah, like it's nice that I got this, but if I, you know, don't actually use them when I need to use them manually, it doesn't really do that much. So yeah, like if I had something that is like an actual nice mapping thing where I actually kill a bunch of packs of monsters and then, you know, try to have increase my odds of getting good loot that way, then obviously this would be wonderful. you know, with the block and then with the recovery. That kind of stuff.
The dog, the merry lead.
But alas, yeah, this is what we have instead. Do I have a devouring in here? I don't. Do I have enough chaos? I do.
Hello, hello,
But I feel
hello.
like I need one more fragment. And then that would be the 5.
I'll put the word out.
I don't like getting trolled. I have to resummon the thing. Okay. Well, that didn't work. There we are. And then I'll have one more. I really hope I get something more that's like that's not Zealot helmet, because then that would be rough that I'm subjecting everyone to this. Because honestly, like this was something that I was able to do basically the same way. With no Mage Blood, no Swallin, no Forbidden Flesh, no, you know, swapping to Occultist, no nothing, no +1 chest. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know if it was all that worth it. Although there might be something that I'm missing, but I'm not quite sure what. That would, like, you know, make me noticeably stronger or something. So yeah, I got a bunch of these helmets. That's great. I could just cut them all off from the tail end, make the videos shorter, but then there's even less gameplay in it. I don't know. It's all said, you know what? I guess it will be long enough anyway. We can go and do a simulacrum. And yeah. That would be nice.
Be gone!
Might as well. So yeah, in the meantime, I'm thinking if there's like anything that I wanna talk about. Yay. Yay. That is so disappointing.
Check in with me when you
Yeah, I mean, yeah. 60 chaos. 27 quality. Is 120 chaos. So yeah, let's just wall it. Alright, and that's it. There it goes. Hmm. 2 fire damage leached its life. 2 to level of socketed AoE gems. Okay, these are all worthless. I'm vendoring everything. Wonderful. So yeah. Sometimes it's not worth to do the bosses at all. But sometimes you get the flask, and then that's nice. I don't even know. Just throw everything in there, and I guess we go and do a simulacrum.
Ahoy there!
We can.
Ahoy there!
I don't even know if I have enough chaos. Maybe with this.
Ahoy there!
Because I mean, at least this one should, you know, make it look a lot better than it actually did look in all the previous ones.
Make it happen.
Because I mean, I guess if you just get hit, you just get hit in the boss arenas with things that you shouldn't get hit by, then you're just dead anyway. If you're relatively tankier on sheet. It's like I should have a high Ellie hit. Ellie max elemental max hit taken, but my fizz is kinda low. Don't really have that much fizz reduction. I guess if I stand in one place, then that's kind of nice, because then I have the up to 9%. I guess I have 3 endurance charges whenever the spectre decides to actually be in my vicinity, which is rarely. So yeah, as you can see, my charge generation is not doing too hot, especially with endurance charges. So yeah, it can be kind of annoying. Like I have all these specters, but then they don't actually do what they are supposed to do. So like honestly, okay, now I have it. I have 3. But obviously, like this is the reason why I don't have more, because I don't have a way of generating it. But you could also have an easy way to generating it, because there's the endurance charge per second when you get hit for like 4 seconds. That's a hubris thing. You could get that, and that would be nice. And then you actually have endurance charge generation that's more reliable. But then I also hear that you have the perfect Warlord, so then you don't need endurance charge generation from elsewhere, which is, you know, right and wrong at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. And I'm sure there's like other stuff that has a better return on, I guess, making the character, like Mage Blood and Swallow and Progenesis. But I guess when you fight the boss, then your Progenesis is probably down anyway, because you don't have sources to get more flash charges, so it's not gonna activate automatically. I suppose I could also run, you know, Enkindling Orb on it or something, and then I just accept that I have 2 uses in one run, and then that's it. But yeah, I do feel like I did kind of miss out a little bit on the strongest builds of the season, in favor of going, you know, the old reliable. But the thing is, I can't really muster up in myself, especially after, you know, playing this much, you know, go for a new build or find a new goal, because usually the challenges are my goal, you know. I'm just going for the challenges, and then when they are done, then I'm also kind of done. And then sometimes I have something extra to do, which was in this case, I guess the extra thing was, you know, getting Mage Blood. And then when I got Mage Blood, then I was like, you know, might as well round out the ultimatum character a little bit. And then I guess you're at the point when you just have a way of reliably basically generating income. Obviously there's a possibility of just being relatively unlucky and just having a bad beat, running dry on the good ones, the good inscribed ultimatums. But generally speaking, at least based on my experiences, you just, when you get over the bad streak, it just goes back to being reliable overall. Like I've seen people who just say, "Oh, I ran 10, you know, 10 ultimatum maps with the catalyzing scarab, and I lost so much money." And I'm like, yeah, sure, like, oh, but the 10 map is not really a, you know, reliable sample size for anything. So it's just like, what can you do? You could say like, oh, I ran 10 Mavens and I didn't get a Progenesis. I lost so much. Or like, for example, I ran now those devouring fragments and I got nothing. I guess the highest drop was 110C necklace after ID, which then I evolved into Oblivion. So yeah. But then I guess generally a lot of bosses are in themselves are, you know, gambles and unreliable. But then sometimes you hit it big, and then that's great. And then obviously there are the threads that have actually almost entirely reliable returns. Like when you do you harvest and you go in there, you're not gonna come away with nothing. Because, you know, that's just not how the mechanic works. Even if obviously like sometimes you get a bit less, sometimes you get more. But yeah, I haven't really done harvest this time. For like a very little bit.
I am you.
I very much enjoyed the ultimate experience, or I mean the ultimatum experience with the Castman Stunned. Because like now that I know what it, you know, what it does, what it needs, what it doesn't need, now I know how to basically, you know, make it, you know, start printing money relatively early. But I mean, obviously, okay, listen. Early, obviously, a blood notch immutable force is gonna be, it's gonna be rough, or like harder to get, and like more expensive, you know, some divines. So like you probably need a little bit of a different way before that, you know, to actually get the money. But then, you know, at the same time, there's just so many ways of getting that, like startup currency, and then you can, you know, you can just get on, you know, whatever rares you find on the ground, basically, like yellow maps at least. And then once you're in yellow maps, you already have some ways to actually make some money. I mean, obviously, especially in this thing, you just have insane items for a chaos, because, you know, how the tree works. But at the same time, you could also just make those items yourself. Anyway, I'm hoping for something good from here, but doesn't seem to happen.
What tugs at the strings of fate? What stands astride the abyss and beckons you to fall?
But yeah, this is also kind of chill, just going into Simulacrum and just chill. Like, for example, this one seems to be a like much better place to actually take advantage of all what this can do, or what we can do. Right, because like here Progenesis gets charges, so it can be up a lot. And, you know, flasks are always up, so even if you remove the charges, I don't really care.
Believe me,
So yeah,
will fall, exile.
this was the two builds that I had this league. I'm sure there are things that I'm missing out on by not running that. I did mention, I think, the Herald stacking. It should be pretty good. And like, you know, with same budget, or even just actually, you know, just selling what I have and then respecing into that, I would probably have a pretty strong build. But then also, you know, the more people go for it, the more, you know, certain things go up. But I guess it's also one of the things that makes a syndicate have an extra, you know, layer of profitability, I guess, because I think that's the reason why, you know, the energy shield malediction Cinder Swallow from Syndicate is so expensive. Ooh, I got 2 of these. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, I think these are, I guess, 25 CN I did. I don't know. But they are fun. But obviously voices is like the only one, because you look at everything else and they are basically getting filtered anyway. Ow. But yeah, here's really nice, the pop we have. Look at that nice AoE circle that the relics are doing. Okay, what mobs or mods does this have? Yeah, I mean, voices is the only one that's the actual loot here. So yeah, now is the time to think if there's anything that I wanted to say about this build or the other build or the league in general. I don't know, I mean, obviously a sync trade is fun. Or I mean, comfy. I like it a lot, obviously. But then, you know, there's the Genesis 3 and synchronous trade. And like the whole question of, you know, is every convenience a good thing? But at the same time, this is also kind of a, you know, genie in the bottle. I guess you can't really like. Okay, that's probably a wrong analogy, but yeah, you can't really walk back on a synchronous trade. That would be quite annoying if you did that, or if they did that. All right, 2 more waves left. So there's that. Obviously, league mechanic is, you know, it is what it is. But you know, Foulborns are probably interesting. I'm not using that many of them. I'm using the Foulborn Red Dream on the other Maiden dude. I'm sure there's like a bunch. Bloodlines I haven't really thought about that much. And like the only ones that I'm really, you know, I can see myself taking, or the ones that I actually take, is those that don't really have like actual downsides attached to it. I don't know. Aside from, I guess, you know, the opportunity cost of, you know, losing another one, losing a ascendancy point from your real one. But then obviously here, for example, we took the Lycia, is, you know, fitting to what we want to do, or what we want to achieve. So that's nice. And then on the other one, we took the Breach, but that also doesn't really have like a downside. It's just 15% less physical with the Ulgraft, and then 15% reduce fire damage taken with the Zoff. And yeah, there isn't really a downside attached to it. But there's like a bunch of other things that, you know, they do what they do, and then you lose the 2 points, and then you still have to have a downside to it. And those I didn't really interact with or think about. So yeah. And that's the last wave. Is this it? Oh, there's a totem here. Alright. Surely. Hello? Okay.
So be sanity. We are pleased.
Anything? Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Here's Author of Lights, for example. I guess these don't. Okay, I mean this is definitely a big downside. This is like, I guess these are skills, so I guess these technically don't really, like 2 of the 3 don't actually have like a huge downside also. But then obviously the one that has it, then that one has a big one. Okay, let's look here and if there's anything interesting here. Could be Sadist and Inspired Oppression together. Okay, I guess it's 5C. I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell because obviously you have 3 that doesn't have an equivalent, and then you have the pairs. Then the pairs are all like 10, 20C, and then you have to decide how you actually wanna price the full one. All right, Lightning Res, Chaos. Okay, that doesn't seem to be worth much. Liquid Inspiration, Mender's Wellspring. Okay, the life mana is, it's a cute one, but probably worthless. Although, I guess the Mender's Wellspring and Liquid Inspiration together, it seems like it's actually what there is. See. So yeah, maybe. All right, you know what? It's a super long one again. I didn't really do all that much. But yeah, I think this is how it's gonna be. And what it's gonna be, I could potentially get, you know, a better one over here, sell this one, buy the other one. That's a little bit better, and then I can actually cover this one, and then I go to 100% instead of 98 because it's a little bit bothersome to look at. But aside from that, on this one, I'm not sure it's really, you know, worth pushing it harder or pushing it higher. But I guess if this is like the only build that you're gonna play, then I suppose it's definitely worth to just, you know, invest more, make it, you know, more comfortable. I just don't really know if there's really any content that this unlocks for us that, you know, that we would not be able to do otherwise. I don't know. You know, it's a, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. Compared to the ultimatum one, who can just do one thing, but the one thing that they can do it quite well. So yeah, I think that's pretty much how we're gonna wrap up the league, I guess. And then basically these two just have the mage blood passed between each other, and also the leveling at Serious Disfavor, where I leveled the enlightens. So yeah. And then, you know, some ultimatums just still waiting over here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, I think that's the league. I'm not saying I'm not gonna have anything else to do with it, but it's quite unlikely. All right, that's it. It was fun. Bye.